G'day mate and welcome to the Republic of Planning, because that's what we have so far. In this little 3-part mini-series, we're covering how to get your first town in Workers and Resources up and running. We spent the first video in this series planning our first town, making our way through what buildings we needed and why each one mattered, along with planning out the infrastructure required for those playing on both medium and lower difficulty settings. That video, of course, if you missed it, will be linked up the top right hand corner, along with down in the description and in the pinned comment below. This being the second video in the series, we'll be covering the extra infrastructure required for those playing on hard and realistic mode. And of course, we're going to be covering how to optimize our construction offices for realistic mode. But before we get into the deeper planning, I just want to ask a quick question if I could, and that is, of course, can I borrow a like? I just like to borrow a like. I like to borrow a like early in the video. If you're not happy with the video, you didn't enjoy the video, by all means, you can have your like back. The third video in this series, we'll be covering how to expand the Republic, how to turn on, well, stage 2 of our little town, and also further cut back on our costs and actually start making a profit, so that we can start bankrolling the Republic into further expansion. Now, that means the very first thing I need to do is I need to bump up the difficulty. This is one of the things I love about Workers and Resources, is you can change the difficulty settings anytime you want. Basically, to go from, well, medium to realistic mode, I just need to tick the right button on everything. We're going to leave it as always day. Global events are serious. I'm going to leave the vehicles are locked according to start year. That's really a personal thing. Traffic simulation is going to be complex. I do need to turn on realistic mode, but I'm going to choose not to. And we're just going to be building things, well, in realistic like settings. But I do want to have that quick analogy we can do between, well, what it would cost to build it in rubles so we can compare buildings in the future. But with that out of the way, we're going to click this, we're going to have to reload the game, and we'll be back. With the difficulty now changed, now we're in, well, pseudo-realistic mode. I need to do a couple of changes before we get too buried into, well, today's topics. First thing I want to do is I want to say batch suspend construction, and I want to make sure everything is turned off. We don't want them going around and randomly building things just yet. Also very important, I should have turned off get citizens on every single one of these houses. Now, if you paid attention, there is, once you, whoop, get that out of the way. If you first pick up a residential building, there is this button here. If I turn that off in the first place, it would have turned that off for all buildings. I do highly recommend you turn that off, because it's much better to not let the game just purchase people randomly as a building is finished. I want to do it very manually and very intentionally. All right, next thing I want to do is I want to make sure, because we're going to be trying to do this tutorial for both realistic and non-realistic, is I want to turn off auto purchase goods in any building that's going to be purchasing goods, which is really just the shopping center currently, and maybe the heating plant, but that button's not there. What else was there? Was one more building. Oh, the prison. Yep, that's already also turned off. All right. Next thing I want to do is I want to make a small modification. We know we need to have the heating plant around about this area somewhere, but I don't need you there right now. And actually, there's one extra road, 2 extra roads I want to remove. All right. Next thing I want to do is I want to remove this road from the customs house. I actually want to tag into the far right-hand one, because we're going to be building, well, everything I need to optimize the construction offices for realistic mode on the left. I want to build that out to there, and I want to build that out to here, and then can I just bring that straight into here, and then can I get a couple of little connections, one little connection there, one connection here, and that'll do us for right now. All right. Next thing I want to do is I want to, well, set up our construction office. I want to set up our construction office. It doesn't matter if you're playing realistic mode or you're playing, well, normal mode, where you can just buy the buildings with rubles. If you build them yourself, they're miles cheaper, like miles cheaper. Can I get one there? And can I get one about here? Okay. What I want to do is I need to set up some very basic things. So first off, I want to have fuel. Because we're now having to deal with our own fuel in hard and realistic mode, I want to have a couple of gas stations. So we're going to throw in 2 gas stations right near the border. This is where all our vehicles are going to be coming through, so we should get those done first. Next thing I need to do is I need to actually fill up the fuel stations. They are going to automatically turn on auto purchase, which I want to turn off, and we're going to be instead filling them up manually, as if we were playing, you know, the harder difficulties. I do want to have the ability to, well, show the price difference between certain buildings. So this tells me all the resources, but if I swap to this, we can very quickly see the comparison between one building and the next by just breaking it down to simple rubles. What I want to do is I want to set up distribution, which is under general cargo. We have, unfortunately, it's under a grayed out banner. but I want a distribution office. Now, the distribution office is very, very important. What it does is it lets you say, hey, I want to have not this dedicated truck go A to B to C to D. I want to have it do a set task. I want you to, top up a fuel station if it gets too low on fuel. So we want to grab a vehicle. We want to go under oil tanker. Generally, you want to sort by total capacity and then sort of pick the biggest one that has a decent speed. As you run at 70 kilometers, you run at 62 kilometers, you run at 60 kilometers, but you carry 11 tons worth of fuel. We're going to pick you and we're going to have you go there, load up fuel. We're going to set it to only fuel so we can't make any mistakes and we don't accidentally fill something up with crude oil. Yep, that would be horrible. And we want you to take fuel there and there. I can manually set these to a set amount, or I can set all destination buildings to a set amount. We're going to set all buildings to 40%. And then for the first time, I'm going to run the game, which means you should leave here, go over the customs office, get me some fuel, load up both these fuel stations, and then we should have fuel going forth. At the same time, you probably need to top up your own tank after you've dropped off the fuel. Yeah. All right, next thing I want to do is I want to optimize our construction offices. We're about to build the construction offices, but I want to put in some basic optimizations first. I want to go to open storage. We have a couple of free open storages, and these are going to be very, very important because in hard and realistic, you're getting everything from the border. And I'd much prefer it rather than a truck going to the border. Well, in this case, he's picking up 11 tons worth of fuel. But there's a chance that if he was only topping up a fuel station just a little bit, he'd be getting like 1 ton worth of fuel. And you got a limited amount of vehicles you can have at the customs office coming in and out at the same time. So I'd prefer to make sure I had a dedicated storage for where vehicles could get stuff from en masse. So we're going to have 4 storages. The 4 storages are for 4 main construction items. One of them is going to be steel, obviously. We built a lot of things out of steel here in the Republic. Next one's going to be for bricks. Next one is going to be for prefab panels. And then our last one is going to be for boards. Okay, with that done, I want to set these to have the right amount of materials. So we're going to limit the amount. And I can have many different options right here. The one we want to have, actually, can we pause the game really quickly because I don't have a lot of things set up, is I want to have boards. So I can click this button and say, look, I want 100% boards, but that takes time. A little bit frustrating, a little bit, there are quicker ways to do things. So this one's going to be prefabs. We're going to hit limit amount. And then rather than ticking the button lots, I'm going to hold down control and left click on any one of these numbers really, and then I can type in the amount I want. In the case of prefabs, I want 1%, which automatically defaults to 100%. If you were sorting 2 different things in here, so if I said what I want to have a 5 ratio of bricks to every 2 ratios of prefabs, I can type that in and we'd have a 5 to 2 ratio, and that means it's a 71 to 30%. Realistically, I want to have the mouse scroll to the far edge of the screen, and we really want 100% bricks. All right, we want 100% steel, so we're going to set you to be 100% steel, and that is, that section set up. Next is I need to have my construction offices. We want to have under construction office, I want to have the free ones, and I want to have 1, 2, 3. Rotate this around, flip it across so they share the same connection. And I want to have, all 7 of those. I have 7 available to start with, so we might as well use 7 of them. All right, my first one, I need to tell you where to get everything from. So you're going to have to get everything from the border, because I don't have an option for right now. Plus, I want you to get our steel, our bricks, our prefabs, and our boards from here. But of course, these have no materials currently. So what I want to do is, in here, I want to add a vehicle. The vehicle's going to be a open hull, because the open hulls are the ones that carry around steel, bricks, prefabs, and boards. We're going to add 2 vehicles in here, and we're already going to the border to get fuel. I want to tell you, hey, you can also get steel, prefabs, bricks, and, sorry, not wood, but boards, and then go to here, 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 and here. And when you go to those spots, I want you to unload those to 40% full, unload, unload, and unload. Cool. With that done, we're going to let you start running. These 2 vehicles will go to the border, pick up some stuff, and start filling these up. Meanwhile, this office. This office is going to be our open, because it's going to be for the open trucks. We've already told you where you can get stuff from, but I want to tell your range to be maximum. And I want to save myself some hassle. I'm going to copy those settings to all of those. Now, it is going to copy where to get materials from. it's not going to unfortunately copy the auto search range. I'm going to have to manually set that for every one of them, but we'll get to that one at a time. So you are going to be our open hulls, and we're just going to buy 4 of these. If we sort by total capacity, these are the biggest ones. They also travel around 62 kilometers per hour. There's a slightly smaller one that travels around at 70, but as we're starting out the Republic, most of our roads are still dirt. And eventually we will get to gravel roads, which have a max speed of 60 kilometers per hour, but therefore a truck that drives at 70 doesn't really help us. There is a smaller one, a slightly cheaper one, but he carries 7 tons compared to our 13 tons if we're just talking about steel. And the last thing I want to do is have him do 2 trips, whereas this guy could have done 1 trip for the saving of 1,500 rubles. So we're just going to buy 4 of those. Okay, that's 4 trucks up and running. Next one in our construction office list is going to be our concrete. We're going to be keeping this one very simple, max range, and you are going to be buying concrete mixers. They carry 10 tons a piece, but you end up going through a lot of concrete in the Republic, so we're just going to grab 4 of those. Okay, next construction office is going to be our everything. This one does a little bit of everything, hence why it's got that name. We want you to be max on range, and I want to buy a couple of vehicles for you. So first off, I'm going to get another open hull. We could go for a smaller one. Eventually, this open hull is actually going to be used to move around the vehicles that's in here. But for right now, we're just going to go for the big one because, well, the more material we can move around, the better. So we're going to grab one of those. We're also going to get a covered hull. Now, the covered hull does move around 2 construction items, those being the mechanical components and electrical components. You could, this one, very much buy the cheaper one. Mechanical components and electrical components are really only going to, well, power wires and also industrial buildings. So it's not something you use a lot of. So it is something you could buy the smaller truck because, 3.5 tons worth of mechanical components compared to 6.5 tons. There are very few machines that go over that sort of 3.5, 4 ton limit. But it does mean that there are possibilities of having 2 trips. So we're just going to buy a big one. On top of that, I want to get 2 specialized vehicles for this one. That one is going to be an asphalt paver. Now, every single thing in the game you can do with labor, or you can do a lot of construction with mechanical components. I would prefer, rather than paying labor to put down the asphalt, to use a automatic vehicle to do so. Also at the same time, after you put down some asphalt, you need to roll it flat. Again, same story. We could use mechanical, we could use people to do it, but I'd much prefer to use mechanical power to do it. So we're going to grab a roller as well. Third office is going to be our dumpers. Okay, dumpers are pretty easy. They're already maxed out. They're going to be moving around 2 of the most important materials in the Republic. Well, actually, probably the most important one, and the other one really only applies to roads. That is gravel. You use a lot of gravel for buildings, use a lot of gravel for roads and for footpaths. You also use asphalt for, well, better quality roads and also better quality footpaths. It is used occasionally in buildings as well, but you use an awful lot of it. So we're going to get 4 of the biggest guys. They do have a catch, and that is they're incredibly slow at only 35 kilometers per hour compared to, the slightly smaller one. Well, actually, probably that one. I would go total capacity. Yeah, that one. The T138. It only carries 10 tons compared to these doing 25. It does travel at twice the speed. So you could make that argument that, we could buy, these guys, they could do 2 trips and move 20 tons at twice the speed in the same time it takes one of these to do a single trip of 25 tons. But then again, our road quality, if we're building ahead, we're building on dirt roads, we only travel at 35 kilometers per hour. So it's not a really big saving that they can travel faster if they never get to go faster. All right, next one is going to be our diggy boys. So we want diggies. Okay, diggies are pretty simple. They are going to be doing, okay, we need to pause again because these are all full. We want to have, actually, we can run the game slowly. Can I buy excavators? Excavators can do a number of things. We want to look at their excavator speed. The faster the speed is on a vehicle, the quicker they get a job done. We're going to buy 4 of them because what they actually do is they are going to be doing the groundworks on many, many buildings or many, many construction sites. So we're going to get 4 of those guys. Next little office is going to be, rename, I want this to be the workers' office. Okay. Workers' office, I want to buy 2 things. First one is going to be buses. We want to sort by total capacity. We have a very big bus. A very big bus, very good, moves 80 passengers. The problem is we're getting foreign workers from the customs office. The customs office doesn't tend to have a lot of workers. Okay, so instead, we're going to choose to grab bus. I'm going to choose to grab the smaller bus, but it moves at 65 kilometers per hour. So again, total capacity all the way down here. Sorry, 85 kilometers per hour. Only moves 40 people. The customs office, like I said, doesn't generally have 80 people for us to pick up. Also, you might argue the whole road thing. I 100% argue that as well. But eventually, this custom office is going to be picking up our own local labor off our own local roads, which will be able to travel a lot faster. So we're thinking about long term for this one. So we're going to grab 2 of those. The other thing I want to have is I want to have a road crane. Road crane is going to be very, very important. They help speed up construction. Also, because they're a road crane, they can drive to the construction site all by themselves. I don't have to babysit them. I have to load them on the back of a truck and drive them there. That's been reset. Cool. So what I wanted them to do is I wanted them to drive to the construction site and then, well, it's a crane. It's a crane. It obviously helps out with construction when you have people on site. Now, as we can see, we have a speed level down here as well. The way this one works is it has a speed level of 26. So because it's a speed level of 26, it can speed up 26 workers on a job site for every crane that I have. If I have 2 cranes, obviously it's going to be speeding up 52 workers. We're probably going to max out about 52 workers on any work site. And it speeds up those workers by a factor of 5. So I want to have 2 cranes to match my 2 buses. The last one is going to be the road builder. Okay, the road builder is the most important of the lot, and it's the one that's going to be doing the most work for right now. And we're going to get 2 of, well, bulldozers. Bulldozers, we don't have a lot of choices. We have a speed 28, a speed 22. These have a very low maximum speed because they're a bulldozer. They take a little while to get to the construction site. So I want to keep these guys as busy as possible. So we're going to grab 2 of those. I'm also going to grab dumpers. I'm going to make sure they have 2 dumpers as well. And that's going to be us pretty much done. Now, there are some optimizations I want to do. So the road builder, I don't want you doing buildings. I don't want you doing pipelines. I don't want you doing, you can do factory connections. I don't want you doing any other machine, anything else. Okay. The diggy boys, I don't want you doing roads or footpaths either. Pure factory connections. Okay. So I want these guys to really concentrate on the roads, the footpaths, and the factory connections. And I want these guys to avoid that. Technically, you don't really want your buses and your workforce to be doing roads, footpaths, or factory connections either. That is providing you can actually get mechanical power to do those things. If I build an incredibly short path, so let's grab a little dirt path and I make a very short one. And can we just approve that? And if I click on that, you can see we don't have any room for any mechanical components on that job site. If I make a longer one, and we look at that, I have a room for a mechanism. So it means this particular one would have to be done with labor, whereas this one could be done with a mechanism. So if you're comfortable, you can turn this off from roads, footpaths, and factory connections. It just means any short job sites like this one, you would have to actually go to this office and actually click assign new construction and actually assign it there. Otherwise, they're going to ignore it because it doesn't fall into their auto search because you've turned that off. In our case, we actually don't want either of those. What we do want to do is I do want to start setting up the main roads. So main roads, I want to have gravel. I want to have this road made gravel, and so I want to select gravel, and I have 2 options. I can either drag section to section and make this much gravel, or I can pick up gravel, hold down the shift button to get a little plus, and drag those across. We want those to be gravel. I want those to be gravel. I want that to be gravel. That's not one job site anymore. Okay, can I don't really want that to be 3 job sites. Demolish. Cool. It's now 2 job sites. Can I get that approved? It's now 1 job site. Perfect. All right. I want to have that to be gravel. Okay. At the same time. Okay. Batch start. I want that and that to be started. And then you're being found by the road builder. You have. Cool. I'm going to assign those as well. And at the same time, I'm going to manually assign these, because these are not assigned to be doing roads, to this one, this one, this one, and this one. Why? Because I can only put 1 bulldozer on each one of these job sites. And, well, one's already here, the other one's about to pop over here. And the excavators are not great at doing roads, but they can do roads. So we're going to get them doing these roads as well, whilst the 2 bulldozers are going to be busy doing other things. All right. At the same time, I'm going to set this to active construction because you want to make sure that your main road is upgraded to gravel as soon as possible. You want to be able to get vehicles through here, and you want them to have a better quality road. So we want to get that much done. I also want to, at the same time, get this... No, I don't want the secondary road to be gravel just yet, or ever. All right. Upgrading roads. The very first thing you want to do is you want to make sure... can I use my tool? Please. Thank you. All right. Any road that is going to be a main road, you want to upgrade to gravel before you actually start building the buildings. So I want to make sure that's gravel. I want to make sure out of the bus stop's gravel. Also, any road that you don't want to interfere with later. So obviously, I don't want to shut down my connection to our warehouse in the future. That sounds like a horrible thing. So we're going to make sure that's going to be upgraded. We're also going to make sure that the road into the market is also made into gravel. Also, the road into the fire station is made into gravel as well. They are going to be the very, very important ones. We're also going to do the clinic, and that's really about it for right now. There are other roads we'd probably like to turn into a main road, but they don't matter so much for right now. Actually, one road that will not matter is I forgot to put in a road to our heating plant, which we will need to put a cut in the footpath right about here. Take this through to... sure, it's going to split the job into 2 jobs, but it doesn't really matter. And then turn that off and reconnect that, because I don't actually want that to be a job anytime soon. Can I bring that up? Footpaths, cool. Start construction of planning infrastructure. It's active construction is turned off, which is fine. It just means it's approved. All right. So the construction officers are going to start doing things. They're going to start getting, well, the roads upgraded, and they're going to continue working this way. And then we could give them a couple more jobs as we get there. Next thing I want to talk about is the extra services. Because we've upped the difficulty level, I need to look at the extra services that we need to provide to the people. One of them is going to be water. The other one's going to be sewage. The very important things about water and sewage is, well, all fluids flow downhill, especially poop. So if we go to our second tool, our tool for measurement, as you can see, I could have the height of the cursor listed up here, which is going to be very, very important because you need to make sure poop flows downhill. And logically, well, you're going to dump the poop in the sea. But that's something we're going to do as part of our stage 2 build. When I upgrade the town, I do that stage 2, where we have a little bit more money, which is mitigating some of our losses. That's when I worry about, well, actually getting the poop to flow downhill. For right now, we're going to be putting in a sewage tank. We're going to need a sewage tank. And then I'm going to have a technical office pick up the sewage, drive it to the border, drop it off, and then same goes for my clean water. So we're just going to have everything be delivered via truck for right now. The other important thing I want to make sure is when I build these, I want to make sure that their fluid lines don't interfere with one another. So wherever I'm building my sewage, I want to build my clean water at roughly the same location. It just makes life a little bit easier in the long run. But I don't want them to. I don't want the 2 pipes to face one another. So we're going to need to find somewhere I can plug you into a footpath, which looks like it's right there. And if I zoom out enough, we can see that that's grabbing everything on this side of the city. We'll obviously need another one on this side of the city, but we need a starting location. So we're going to dump this one right in here. And I don't need a high quality footpath for a high quality walking connection. So a dirt footpath is perfectly fine. We're going to drop you here. And then I'm going to go for a water substation. And I want to put you... I definitely don't want you facing that way. Can I flip you? We're going to put you here. That's going to be perfectly fine. All right. The other thing that's important with these 2 substations, unlike the electrical substation, which had a maximum amount of power it could do, the water substation and also the sewage substation don't have a max limit they can do. Their limitation is still down to the pipes that you plug into them. So if we press F3 to go underground, we can see I have a sewage connection here, and I can choose to either have a very large pipe, it's 170 poop per second, cubic meters. We can have one doing 75, or we can have one doing 36. The size of the pipe is something you need to consider, also the cost. So we can see, let's go for 100 meters. 100 meters is to here, 62 work days, and well, an awful lot of gravel and other things. If we go to here, that's 100 meters is 92 work days, 13 tons worth of gravel. Big one is 132 work days, but our water is over here. this is probably where we'll be dumping our sewage, far away from the town. So if I select here and I go to here, we can very quickly see that's 5,000 work days. It is 200 tons worth of gravel. 200 tons worth of concrete, 1,000 tons worth of gravel, 200 tons worth of prefabs. It's not going to be cheap to build. And if I change that over to rubles instead, we can quickly get the cost analysis, and that's a $70,000 pipe. I don't want to build $70,000 pipes. This is why we're going to choose to keep things a little bit cheaper, and we're just going to have trucks move around our sewage and stuff for right now. So back to plumbing, I need a sewage tank. We've got one in there that covers up to this point. So I need one around about where our fire station is. Can I put you... Okay, we're going to put you here. I'm going to hold down the control button because I don't want to have the footpath auto added. I'm going to drop you there. I'm also going to grab a water substation, and we're going to put you there as well. Okay, they're going to need to have footpaths, but in the meantime, you guys are very bored. So can I get you assigned to that one, that one, and you can do that one as well. And you know what? Can I drag this dirt path to this dirt road to here? And then if I do that, they can now see these extra connections, which means they can at least get the material on site. We can see that overall the gravel is getting here reasonably fast. Actually, can I do that one? Cool. The more intersections they have, the more connections, or the more job sites they can see. Yep. And now they should be able to see that job site because there is a way to get into it, not through a road that's under construction. And then we can get those jobs added to the queue. All right, so the roads are going in. We have water, we have sewage. Now, the next big one is going to be, well, garbage. Now, garbage is something where I see a lot of people make a lot of mistakes. And it's probably the biggest place I can see people doing optimizing how they're building the Republic. If we come back up here and I grab a simple, I want to have roads and vehicles under maintenance. I want a technical office. Technical office is what we're going to be using for our garbage, also for our poop. I'm going to dump one of those there. So to make sure my poop's set up, I want to make sure that the limit on this is very high. So there's search decent distance. I want to make sure you need to go to the border to get all the things you need. So you get water from the border, you're going to sell the sewage to the border. When I say sell, it means we need to pay them. But also if you have construction waste, aluminum scrap, all those sorts of things that come from garbage trucks, they also go to the border as well because we have no way of dealing with them right now. But I need to purchase a couple of vehicles. This is the whole list for a technical office. We need to buy a sewage truck. So we're going to buy actually, let's sort. Can I get a sewage system? So total capacity, we have 70 kilometers per hour, 9.5 cubic meters, or I have 3.5 cubic meters and 60 kilometers per hour. Realistically, if you're driving around poop, you want to have the biggest truck possible so you can make the least amount of trips. So we're going to buy one of those. On top of that, we want a water system. Same story. If we're going to go get water, I want the truck to make the least amount of visits, so we're going to buy one of those. Next is going to be our, snow plows for when we get into winter. Not worry about that right now. Next one's going to be our waste trucks. Now, we have two different waste trucks, and they have two different options. We have this one, which features small container loading. Okay, that's very, very important. And this one features large container loading. So there's two different types of containers you need to deal with. Generally, small containers are something that the houses have, whereas large containers are generally something that industrial buildings have. But as a general rule of thumb, it's not a guaranteed, but it's a general rule of thumb. What I want to do is I want to buy a small garbage truck for right now that I'm hoping that I never use. Yeah, that's how I'm planning it. So we're going to buy one of those. Now, I need to then explain our two different types of garbage dumps. Also the rules when it comes to garbage. So garbage, we have a stands for garbage. So every single building is going to have its own internal garbage stand where people can come and dump their garbage. Can I batch start construction? Can we get the power started? Can we get the... Actually, I don't want to have that power pole started. Suspend. Can I get the fire station started? Can we get the shopping center started? Can I get the warehouse started? Can I get the bus depot started? Can I get the clinic started? Can we get the kindergarten started? And the substation. What else do I want started? The heating plant can get started as well. And they can go build that in the background whilst we talk about garbage stands. All right. Garbage stands. We have two main options, okay? We have a small stand for small garbage containers, small. Let's put you down. Yeah. Then I have a stand for small garbage containers, small. This is with a footpath connection. So the difference between these two is one is a road connection, one's a footpath connection. Then I have a stand for small garbage containers, large, which is a little bit bigger, still has a road connection. And then I have a stand for small garbage containers, large, which has a footpath connection. Then I have a stand for big garbage containers, small, which is this one. And then I have a stand for big garbage containers, large. Okay. So there are 4 different options when it comes to garbage stands. Now, people will walk up to 125 meters to go dump their rubbish, which is very, very important because we want to exploit that in the Republic because, well, if we can exploit the population in any way possible, we will. So, going through our options, if we look at the very first one, you have a total storage of 0.72 tons worth of mixed waste. And the picture here is very, very telling because we can see there are 6 little containers in the picture, which means, well, each container is going to hold 0.12 tons of waste, which means each storage container is only holding 120 kilos worth of rubbish. If we go back to our garbage trucks, by vehicle. Now you show up. Hey, you're a special one. You're a waste truck. Cool. You're a special one. You're part of my Let's Play. If you want to know why Uncle Vlad needs his rubles and why this particular garbage truck happens to be 20 million rubles, I do recommend you have a look at my Let's Play. We started a little while ago, so we're about 50 episodes in. We were sent off to take care of the Republic by Uncle Vlad, and this is part of the storyline. But you hold 6.5 tons worth of rubbish. You hold 6.5 tons worth of rubbish. But you're the one doing the small containers. We know those small containers only hold 120 kilos, which means you need to visit a lot of containers to pick up a lot of rubbish and finally get 6.5 tons. The problem is they don't visit a lot. After a couple of these garbage containers are full, let's just build you. After a couple of these are full, what happens is it goes and gets rid of the rubbish. So that's not a very good idea. Now, if we look at the next size up, the bigger size, you hold 2.2 tons worth of mixed waste. And you have, as you can see from the picture, many, many more garbage bins. That would be wonderful. You can pick up many garbage bins at once. The other catch with this one is it's still only 2.2 tons. So even if the whole garbage fills up, every single bin fills up, they're all overflowing, you can come along and you can pick up a couple of tons worth of one hit. The other option is your big garbage containers. Your big garbage containers have a giant, massive difference, and that is, well, they're skip bins. So for the same footprint as this one, which holds 2.2 tons, I could have this one, which holds 52 tons worth of mixed waste. And if I build you really quickly, we can see that they are 8 giant skip bins. Also, because this is based around industrial waste, you can actually have the waste pre-sorted. So you can have the industrial buildings pre-sort their waste, so make sure we have some dedicated for hazardous waste, make sure we have some dedicated for, I don't know, metal scrap and some plastic waste and so on and so forth. People won't sort their waste just yet. You need to have the research done to provide the education of the people so they know how to do these things. But what I want to do is I want to make sure that wherever possible I use the stand for big garbage containers, because, well, it's going to be much more efficient. It does mean that I need to make sure I have a road connection, whereas the other ones have the advantage they have a footpath connection. But as long as I plan the Republic well, I can get a road connection anywhere I need. So let's look at our houses. So our houses, we can put in, well, one of these with a footpath, and I can put one of these here. Look, we can get four. Just get four across the back with one single small stand for small garbage containers, large. That'll hold like 2.2 tons. That's not bad. But because they plan things well, I could put this at the front and cover every single building. Not quite all 8, but very close to, with a single garbage stand. If I make sure I have a footpath, and I only need a dirt footpath because people are not going to actually be walking on these footpaths all that often, and I put that to there, and I put that to there, and then I go back to my garbage stand and I go for that one, I can now cover 8 of them into one giant garbage stand. Now, as each person makes about 100 kilos worth of trash, no, about 8 kilo worth of trash, about 8 kilo worth of trash per day. I have, well, each house holds 110 people, so we're going to call it 800 people. That means there's 800 kilos worth of trash here per day. which means this little one would fill up incredibly quickly. Incredibly quickly. Whereas one of these is going to take a while to fill up, an awful long while to fill up, and I only have to empty this once a week. So I want to put one of those there. I then want to go to my next batch, and I basically want to do the same. I want to make sure you have that connection, and you have that connection, and also if I can get the preschool at the same time, that would be beautiful. And can I put you here? And now I have all 4 buildings and the preschool all covered at once. Now, the houses don't actually tell you how much trash that they produce per day, but a lot of other buildings do. If we go look at residential, state infrastructure, children, kindergarten, we can see that garbage production per worker is 0.2 kilos and the garbage production per child is 0.62 kilos. So if you're going to have 120 children, that's 6 kilograms per day. Actually, it's way less, but it's going to add up over time, and therefore having a giant garbage container, which happily fills up once it's full. So truck will come along, empty it, everything will be great. Can I enable that? And can I enable that? Cool. All right. Now I need to make sure that these are put wherever we need garbage containers. So can I pick that up? We can do a quick double check. We can see the clinic is going to need it. It's not telling me. Not telling me, but you also need garbage as well, as do the sports arenas. So can I very quickly make some alterations? Can I cancel any footpaths I have in this area? And can I put you here? Can I put you here? Can I remove you, and remove that? Cool. Can I put the big one at the top? I'm going to put you here. Can I put the little one at the bottom? Let's go with here. Can I cancel that really quickly? And then I can get a proper footpath from here to, let's go with here, and hook in the bus depot, and also hook in just a dirt path. Yeah, I prefer an angle if you could get me one, but I guess not. And then, can I get garbage? And I want to put you up. I need to approve those first. And then I want to put garbage. You won't tell me. Okay. Be difficult. Give me a dirt path instead. Will you now tell me? No, because I'm going through a road that has construction on it. Alright. I am really confident that if I put you here, you're going to reach everything. Now, this is a feature. I'm going to call it a feature of the game. It's not a bug. It's a feature that because I'm going through roads that are under construction, it won't tell me the distance for all the garbage connections. And that's just down to, because this is designed for the roads, it sort of hits a road and follows the road and doesn't go road to footpath. Doesn't go road to footpath to road to footpath. Yeah, it's one of the things you need to keep in mind. But if I put you down, and then I click on you, and I click on your walking distance. You're not linking up. There we go. I click on the walking distance. You're saying 139 meters to this, because you're not following up this road, because this road is under construction. It's fine. I'm reasonably confident. I'm not confident enough. Can I remove you? Can I remove you? I don't want you and you. I just want to swap you guys around. I am pretty confident I put one there. I'm going to reach all these buildings in this area. But with you there, I need to look at our next set of buildings. Our next set of buildings being... Ooh, actually, I want to grab the police station as well. Can we get a footpath through here? I can. Can I get out? Also get a garbage station in that little gap that's left? Ooh. Yes, but no, I can't get the garbage connection with the road. Okay, can we cancel that? Can I grab my garbage again? Put my garbage back where it was, and can I just get a footpath? Oh, I split the job into many small jobs. Of course I did. Can I demolish that and demolish that? And if I just make you dirt for a second, does that help us? It's saying 190 meters because it's going all the way around. Okay, can I get a dirt path from... Well... No, there to there to there to there. Cool. With that now done, can I just double check? You're 102 meters. Cool. So we're gathering all those. Can I get that upgraded as well? And can we make sure all of this is enabled and good to go? We can enable those footpaths, that footpath. We can enable both of you guys if you're not already enabled. Can I get... Yeah, that'll do us for right now. All right, so continue our garbage journey. So we need to grab the courthouse, the shopping center. Also, I need to grab the school, the small headquarters, and also the indoor pool. I also need to cancel this road and get people off it. Go use the better road. Okay, can I build a bit of road here, a bit of road here, and then cancel the road in the middle? That way nobody will use it, and they'll all path around it. Cool. Can I also remove that one and that one? You guys will work it out in half a second. All right, so I want to make sure we grab these buildings. So the best way to do that is grab a dirt path, make sure we come out of here on a dirt path to, say, here, into there, from here, just say here, there to there. Can I hook in the university, what are you? The indoor pool. The indoor pool is actually important. And then if I put you here, we can see we're going to end up getting the courthouse. I'm not getting the school because you don't have a footpath right there, but now I should grab the school, the courthouse, the shopping center. Also, I should grab the university, yep, and also the heater pool. So we're going to grab that there. I also want to make sure that road is set for gravel, because the last thing I want to do is cut off the fridge because I upgraded the road. So we want to get that done as well. Now, these paths are not really designed for walking, and it doesn't matter when it comes to garbage whether they have a dirt path or a real path. It doesn't affect their total walking distance. It's always 125 meters, whether it's the worst dirt roads or it's the best roads in the world. So if you're happy to live in dirt, I'm happy that they're still dirt. All right, next garbage container we're going to need is going to be down here for the prison. We need to make sure we're going to grab the amphitheater, the cinema, and the fire station. The fire station, realistically, I should have some trucks in, but not just yet. Okay, so I need to put you here somewhere, probably in that direction, but I need to grab the amphitheater. Can we grab dirt path? Amphitheater has one connection here, and the cinema has a connection there. And can I then do... You're not picking up the amphitheater, probably because it has... Probably because it doesn't produce trash, actually. No! According to this, it seems when people visit the amphitheater only here in this republic, they take all their trash with them. I know it's definitely not like that when I go to any sort of concert, but sure, we'll believe you. All right, so we're going to throw you here. This should grab the trash from this area. I want to grab that and that so they can have... oh, no, not from dollars. I want that approved, and I want that approved. And we don't need those built yet. You're going to get built now. You don't have trash at all. And I have two options when it comes to, well, the heating plant. We can either have it be left as is, and people can just pick up the trash from there, or we could get it built 50-50 here, or we could, or not get it built, we could put a trash outside it. As it's one building, we're probably just going to leave it as is. So I do need to get, well, the preschool done, power wires done, I'll need to get these footpaths, so I want to get all these enabled as soon as possible. Can I get all of those enabled? Can I get these enabled? That enabled. That enabled. Everything down here enabled. I want to have that enabled. I want to have everything on the front. I need that trash depot, that trash depot. There's nothing across the front of this. No. We need to have both those enabled if they're not already. We need to have the school before you move people in. I need to have the university before I can move people in. I need to have the heated pool before we move people in. And I need to have this footpath all the way up to our fire station built before I can move people in. All right, so we have a plan. I need to set you to a higher priority because you have everything on the construction site. You just need people. So we're going to make sure it has a high priority, so hopefully it gets people sooner rather than later. And I don't need that, or that. And that. Oh, did you get enabled again? I don't remember. All right, so that's where we're up to with the Republic. We have things coming in. Now, the other things I'd really like to cover in this video, but I don't actually think I'm going to have time, is, well, we were going to set up our first industry and start making profit. But I think it would be probably better off if instead of doing that, I leave that for the next video, because at this stage, we're at the sort of the same point, whether you're playing realistic mode or whether you're playing normal mode, where you just need to have the buildings finish and then you get people start moving in the Republic. You are up and running. No, actually, we might get everything built. We're down to 1 million rubles, so I've spent 500,000 rubles on construction and on vehicles so far. And actually, considering the rate they're going, it's probably not going to take that long to get people into the Republic. We do need to have some trucks, so actually, let's do some of that. All right, so you are the one doing fuel. Because you're doing fuel, I want you to bring fuel to the fire station. It's sort of important they have fuel. Also, I need to have, well, in here I need to have food, I need to have clothes, I need to have electronics. I also need to have meat, but I'm not worried about meat until I have power, because it turns out if you put meat into a shopping center and there's no power to keep the meat cold, it rots. So something we should probably consider. And you do have a garbage container that somehow already has garbage in it. Don't question it. But I don't want to use, no, I don't really want to use that until we have the other garbage containers up and running. And also the other thing I should do is I should upgrade one of the 2 roads to asphalt. So can we go to asphalt road? Can I go from here all the way through to here as asphalt? We're going to set you to a low priority, set you to a low priority, and set you to a low priority. It is going to limit how many lanes I have going to the border, but it also means that the wonderful little asphalt builder and the roller will have something to do other than just doing the factory connections, because we only have 2 very short factory connections, and as you can see, this doesn't have room for mechanisms on site, so it has to be done with labor anyway. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put in a cut, and we have all the houses to do. I'm going to end the video here. Yeah, we're going to come back in the next video, and then we will actually get people moved into the Republic, set up our bringing in raw resources to all these buildings, and also hope that we don't get any fires. It's perfectly normal to get a fire within the first year or 2 and lose a building. It's going to happen. It's something you just have to accept, but we'll cover that and a lot more in the very next video, where we cover into getting into our first industry and starting to make a profit. I do want to remind you at the same time that if you're interested in this particular save file, it is down in the description. I'm also going to remind you should hit subscribe so you can get a notification about that very 3rd video. Last thing I want to mention very quickly is, no, long outro, but remember that like I asked whether I could borrow earlier. Well, is there any chance I can now keep that like if I didn't get it earlier? Yeah, I'd very, very much like to keep that like. Anyway, with all that said and done, I'm going to leave it here. I'll see you in the very next video. All right, bye.